Johnson Lightfoot.
I'm Zach Bain.
Jonathan Wilson.
And today we are going to be bringing the social aspects of Pokemon to the world's largest social network. So why Pokemon? Well, the core of this franchise has always been about connectivity. In fact, when the director of the Pokemon Company, the marketing for the Pokemon Company, was asked this question, he said there's just always been a focus on bringing people together. And that really is what this franchise is all about.
And speaking of the Pokemon franchise, I'm going to do a quick overview on it. You play as a boy or a girl traveling through this land of mystical monsters and creatures with the goal of capturing, battling, and trading them with the hopes of becoming the world's greatest Pokemon master. This franchise has done extremely well. It is currently the second best video game selling franchise of all time with over 200 million copies sold. 16 main titles are included in that number, and there are 2 more iterations on their way to North America as well.
Now we want to share with you some of the staggering numbers that Facebook has. For instance, it has a user base larger than the population of the United States, and those users are spending over 13,000 man-years every month on Facebook. And in fact, Facebook's research says that over 70% of those users are using the apps within Facebook, so we'll have a large population to work with.
Pokemon has always been the focal point of Nintendo's innovation towards multiplayer. First, there was the link cable, especially made for red and blue versions. Then, when the Game Boy Advance came out, the first games to use it were Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Next, we had the Wi-Fi connection on the Nintendo DS that allowed people to trade and battle from miles away. And even more recently, there was the Global Trade Station, which was an online community that allowed players to talk about where they can meet up to trade and battle their Pokemon. We believe we have the next logical step in this progression towards connectivity.
We call the future of connectivity in the Pokemon universe Pokébook.
So what is Pokébook? When we set out to make this application, we wanted to focus on 3 main aspects. 1, connecting, making it easy to connect with your friends. 2, bringing the simplicity of trade using the Facebook interface. And finally, 3, being able to battle with your Facebook friends to see who really is the ultimate Pokemon master among your friends.
So how do you do this? How do you connect on it? Turns out you already know how to do it. It's called the news feed on Facebook, and it's called the Poke feed on Pokébook. In the Poke feed, you can see all of your recent in-game accomplishments. So if you earn a badge, or if you defeat a trainer, or if you catch a new Pokemon, that'll appear right on the feed. Now, also, you can do trade requests and trade offers. It'll show up right in the main page here, all in one nice spot for you.
And speaking of trade requests, this is the trade interface we have here. It's very simple. It works just like the Facebook invitation interface. All you have to do, if you want to see what Pokemon your friend has, you go to the Pokedex, you scroll through, find the Pokemon you would like to request a trade, click on it, click request trade, and you're ready to go. It's very simple, very easy to use.
The exploration and capturing Pokemon, the story mode, will remain on the DS cartridge where it belongs, but the dueling aspect of Pokemon is a very important thing that we'd like to bring to Facebook. This is what the battle interface looks like. As you can see, it uses the same 2D sprites from the game, so no new resources will need to be made. You'll be able to battle any of your friends who are currently online and view global and friend leaderboards.
And we're going to bring this Pokébook to the DS users and use a 3-step process. So when they start the game, they're going to choose Mystery Gift. Then they're going to choose Download from Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. Then they'll get a message about what to do in-game and how to receive Pokébook. And Nintendo's actually brought recent add-ons to recent games on the DS in this exact same way. And in fact, Nintendo's also recently integrated Facebook into the DS. So we have the technology there. All we have to do is to take advantage of this, and we can get Pokébook to the DS users.
This is going to help sell a lot more copies of Pokemon. A lot of players started playing when they were younger, but as they matured, they may have stopped playing Pokemon. Luckily, this is the same age that most of those people would start logging on to Facebook. And we think that Facebook can be what bridges the gap between young Pokemon players and older Pokemon players. More importantly, games such as Frontierville have proved that Facebook apps can be very financially viable. People will pay for customization items such as the shiny Pokemon, which already exist in-game and players love, and the customization of the colors of your training. Furthermore, 26% of Facebook app users actually do pay real-world money for these apps, such as Frontierville. So this would be a very good revenue stream for Nintendo.
So we're going to combine the social aspects of Pokemon with the world's largest social network in Pokébook. Coming soon.
battle with players who are online. Is there a reason why you decided to restrict it to players who are online at the time and not would it be like if my friend was offline, can I still battle him? Like, it seems like Facebook tends to go.
Well, we wanted to make sure the battles were in real time. So if both players are logged in on Facebook at the same time, then they can battle each other right then and there. But if they're not logged on at the same time, we would have to rely on some artificial intelligence, and that's not really the way Pokemon works. So we want to stick to the groundings that they already laid out for us in the game.
But it seems a little against what Facebook tends to be like.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true, but there are apps out there that have real-time battles, and, we don't want to go against Nintendo's groundwork. So we only are pulling the battle system from the game into the actual Facebook app, and we're going to leave all the exploration and everything to the DS game. So that way we're taking that one aspect that they've already taken away for games like Pokemon Stadium and such, and use the exact same real-time formula. Yeah.
So let's say you pitch this idea to Nintendo, and if they say, why do we need you guys to do this? What would you say?
Why do they need us to do it?
Right.
Is that a question like related to the audience of the game, or why we would do it?
It's more like, if you come with this idea with an existing IP that's not yours, if you would like to turn that into a potential career launch, you would want to be part of this project,
Sure.
right? And if I were Nintendo and I hear your pitch, I think that's a good idea. We certainly have the resources to do this, but these guys seem to be more excited about this, right?
Well, growing up with Facebook and just starting to get developing with Facebook, I think that we're kind of like the perfect age and audience to be receptive to this app and to develop it at the same time, since we know the platform so well. We also love to collaborate with Nintendo on it, since they do have the resources, like you said, and they would probably have a lot of really great ideas on how to connect the Pokemon community with this app in ways that we haven't even thought of.
I also told them to just kind of ignore that condition. To not worry about development costs that much as long as it was realistic, and sort of act almost as if they were like an internal team pitching it to their superiors at the company. Yeah.
So a question that kind of harkens back to the Dead Space presentation. Pokemon's catchphrase is "have to catch them all."
Sure.
Where is the catching in this pitch?
No catching, but there is trading. So in the games, that's where the catching is done. That's where the exploration is done, and that's what it's all about there. But in order to complete your collection, you have to trade with people, and Pokemon has always been that way since its inception. So in order to finish your collection, you have to connect with other players, and currently, older players aren't really bringing their DSs around everywhere they go. It's kind of more something that the younger players do. So the older players are always using Facebook, since that really is what our generation is logged onto. So this would be a really great medium for them to be able to connect with their friends on.
I think we'll do one more question.
All right, so just really quick. All right, let's pretend you guys are in an internal meeting. I work for Nintendo, all right?
Okay?
At the end, you mentioned basically that people spend money on Facebook apps, but not how people would spend money on this Facebook app, all right? How are we going to monetize this product? Sell me on it. How am I going to get rich?
Sure. So number one, this is going to sell more copies of the game because we're expanding the audience. Right now, Pokemon is very, very geared towards a younger audience, and they keep bringing in new younger audiences, but they're losing their older players. So in order to keep their older players interested and invested in the game, we're going to put Facebook in it, and all of a sudden they have a new platform to try it on. We were talking about different ways to monetize it in the future, different little accessories for your avatars and such. And Facebook is always changing their system for that, so we'll probably just kind of go with the flow on it and wait and see. So right now, the plan would be to do very similar to what Frontierville did. That's why we put that example in there, and charge coins for people to buy different little trinkets or make Pokemon shiny and things like that. And further down the road, we can expand that as they continue to add features to the core Pokemon games, and as Facebook continues to change their own system for it.
All right, cool. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thank you.